So I audited this go-to-market SaaS to fix their activation rate, which is at 3%. This is Geodo, which is a GTM SaaS automation tool that helps to automate your whole go-to-market processes, especially when it comes to messages and DMs. And I've been working closely with the founder to mainly optimize on the UX conversion. So the metrics that I really want to improve here is number one, the activation rate, the conversion and retention. Because in total they got 3,000 signups, but only an estimate amount of 100 daily active users, which is equivalent to 3% activation rate, which if we're being real, that's really low. And in this whole entire video is me covering on what feedback I actually gave to the founder and his team to improve the whole UX flow of their own SaaS product. And so to the founder of Geodo, Nadav, if you're watching this, I appreciate you for letting me, make this video to share to the public on what we basically talked about in the call that we had, which is, well, I mean, the things that I'm gonna be showing is basically just the things that me and him actually covered on the call, like on based on like one-on-one feedback and consultation that I gave him. The main thing that I actually really want to talk about is just the UI, which is it comes down to that core feature, right? Which is the campaign feature. And this whole entire thing is just the roadmap on the feedback that I gave them. So I want you to picture this. Imagine if you're a new user and this is the UI of Geodo that you would face. But the thing that I really want to pay attention is the campaign section, which for them, this is the meat of the whole entire SaaS product. Okay, this is the core proposition of Geodo, which is the campaign section. And if to go back to the Miro board, this is where we start. First thing I want to talk about, and the first thing that I basically told the founder is this, the sidebar order sequence. Back then, they had this sequence being settings in the first, the top priority, then followed by the campaign, which is the first core feature, right? Then followed by the second core feature, which is the agent inbox, then the dashboard, followed by the contacts, and then we have the more section, right? And my epiphany is that firstly, the settings section shouldn't be at the top. It just feels unnatural for you to put the settings sections as the top priority, because when we talk about the user behavior psychology, people are just used for the settings to be or at the bottom, right? It's maybe somewhere at the last bottom of the features or maybe close by to the profile, right? This is where you should put the settings. Okay, it should be at the top. That just feels unnatural to a lot of users, and you would kind of want to lean into the norm of what people are used to, so that you're not really breaking any momentum pattern. And so this is the sequence that I basically told them about, is the dashboard, which is slash the homepage, should always be at the top, right? So this in order should actually be way at the top, and then followed by the campaign, which is the second line in order, because as I mentioned earlier, the campaign is the main core feature. So of course you would want to have this below the dashboard, then followed by the other features as such. And it's just, I say, settings should be at the last bottom. And moving forward, this is basically just a technical issue that I had when I was scrolling through the main campaign page, and that is whenever someone were to click on the campaign tab, right, which is on this sidebar, this page would unnecessarily just reload into this loading screen. And this, even though it may seem like a small thing, this is considered to be a friction point that causes users to abandon the whole entire product, because now they think that, what's wrong with this software? Is it broken? It's just moving too slow. And users will be thinking that, considering the campaign page is the main core proposition of the whole entire product, right? The problem is that whenever you were to click on this page, it would always reload into this loading screen unnecessarily, really. So that's a technical fix that they just had to like fix ASAP. And the next one, which is a core fundamental structural element that they're missing, users would land on this empty campaign page right here you see below, and they would just click on the start button page and immediately just get dumped into the four-step builder, right? Like just right off the bat to just start a campaign, which is too fast. All right, yeah, there's no real foundation to actually like build it up. And what should happen is that whenever people were to land on this campaign page, they should be greeted by a campaign management dashboard. So I want you to imagine this, right? This is the current page, and what they should actually be doing is make this into a campaign dashboard. And this is kind of the example that I gave, that they should show, okay, these are the running campaigns, then these are your drafts that you can create, then this is your the campaigns that you have paused, then this is the ones that you have deleted, right? Maybe make it into a bin, right? It's supposed to be a bin. Fuck me. So this is what should ideally be. Okay, people shouldn't and take this as a framework that you can apply it to your SaaS. People shouldn't just go straight into building whatever feature that you sought them out to go on. They should land on the dashboard, let them build momentum to get into the UI, and then that's when you actually start with the nitty-gritty steps right here. Once you actually like click the next button, which you'll be prompted to this page, which is the channel outreach page. This exit button, right? You see that there's kind of like two exit button. This one is to go back, then this one shows an arrow that says campaign. But ideally, this should actually be titled the exit button instead of the campaign button, because people can get misled to think that this is a backwards button, right? So even just like small things like this, like just small copy flaws like this can actually lead to misunderstanding and confusion in the UX. So this should be the exit button, and then this is the back and forward button right here. And this is kind of more of like a design feedback I have. Nothing really that detrimental or that serious. The things that I've talked about here, like the sidebar order sequence, the loading screen, this campaign management dashboard, are very fundamental, huge structure problems that if you don't fix, it will definitely bleed into your conversion and activation. So I basically like told him, right? I told Nadav, the founder, and said, you can leave this call and just forget everything that I've shared to you. But the thing that you really have to fix ASAP is these three things that I've showed: the campaign management dashboard, the loading page, and the sidebar order sequence. These are like the fundamental detrimental thing that you have to fix. Is what I told him. So, and then this is more of like a nice to have thing that it's kind of just me like expressing like what they can do. And that is, you see this you see how they have this progress bar of to tell users which phase of the campaign setup that they're at, which you got like four phases, right? And then at the bottom, at the right not right, the left bottom hand side corner, you have this indicator that shows people like how far are they at. And I basically told them that what you can do is change the progress bar so that it doesn't obstruct anything, right? So instead of it being at the top here, maybe you can actually put it at the bottom left to make it into a carousel style type of progress bar. So I want you to imagine this. If let's say you're on step one, you're on this black dot, right? The second black dot, and then it would actually expand. Once you actually move to step two, that initial step one, which is the channel outreach, would collapse into a second black dot, and then it would actually animate the second step and open up the dot into the second second pop-up. So this is kind of like a small like a cool design thing that they can basically add. So if you move forward into the funnel, this is the next part, which is to select which campaign types you want. I'm not really gonna go through this page because there's not much thing for me to give any feedbacks or criticism on. And then this one is more of like a technical issues again, and that is the chat box to get your contact leads to do the outreach is the screen margin is too small. This is this the top hit bar is taking too much space, and at the same time this footer is also taking too much space. Going back to the previous thing that I said about the progress bar, right? What they can basically fix is to make this progress bar into a carousel style type of loading progress bar loading screen. And the next thing I said is this text is being copied, right? Yeah, they should just change it. Remove this repeated copy because it's already being said right here, right? Literally the same thing. So might as well just get rid of the top one. And moving forward, this is more of like the really deep technical problem roots, and that is the chatbot that they have here in the section of personalizing the DM is that the chat isn't really an AI chat because whenever I were to put my prompt, the chat right here, whenever I were to click send, would just refresh this page into a new conversation. So this was like a rooted technical problem that it's just like really fucking annoying when that happens. But this is more of like the very technical thing, the more of like the backend stuff. And the next thing is that whenever I were to have more personalization in my prompt, right? To change the automation of my DMs. The problem is customization. My prompt would actually kill the output quality of the generated draft messages. Like this, you see, whenever I were to try to add more personalization into the draft message, it would start to write some very obvious AI and generic messages because you can just tell that this is just lazy writing, right? Thanks for connecting. Thanks for connecting. I've seen you in the same industry. I've seen you in the same industry. I'm interested in how we might share insights. I'm looking forward to high sharing insights and possibly exploring avenues. Like it just becomes an AI slop shit show, really. And the last feedback that I made is this AI chat box would not expand. It would just, you know, like stay in this like one small box. So if I were to have like prompts, like my prompts would be long lines after lines, it wouldn't open up. And it would just be too small for people to read their prompts. And this is one of those simple technical problems that if you don't address, it would affect the whole UX flow and the whole experience for users, which can lead to a catastrophic problem right here. Just by just by this chat box not opening is just like really fucking annoying when ideally it should open up, right? The more text you have, it should open up bigger accordingly to how many lines you have, right? That's just it. And I'm pretty sure that's the whole entire thing that I basically shared them. Oh wait, last but not least, I think the last thing that I talked about is this, like a feature that they have, I mean not have, that they can add is a message quality scorecard that when a user were to, still draft their DM messages, they actually should have this quality message rate to kind of just grade the message, the message that they create based on personalization, specificity, god damn, tone alignment, and clarity on a level scale, just like this one. So which means like the more, well, the better your message is, then the higher of a skill that's gonna land, right? And of course, the more shit that it is, then it's gonna be lower on the loading spectrum. It's just like a really cool feature that they can add, which also gives the user an update live as they are writing the message at the same time. And I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it when it comes to the whole UX funnel breakdown. And if you to actually go on the UI of Geo, right, you can see that they have already made changes, which is I'm glad that Nadav and his team are already implementing the strategies that I told them, just like this, right? Showing the dashboard at the top, then the campaign. Oh, it's still loading. Okay. There's a bit of a technical problem that they still have to fix. Is that whenever I were to click on this, it would always refresh the page, which you can see how that's it can be quite of a annoying problem to deal with, because you see that at every page that I go to, I have no issues with the screen loading like this. But then on the other hand, you see that this is a campaign management dashboard that they create, and you see right here, the top left exit button is actually called an exit button and not a campaign exit button. So that's really good that they've already implemented the strategies that I've talked about. So ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the end of this UX funnel breakdown for Geodo. Maybe who knows, in the future I do really want to review this product back to actually see any increase of the activation rate or the conversion rate and the retention, and then we can actually, actually assess on what works, what didn't, so on and so forth. If you want me to audit your UX funnel, then check out the link under the description of this video. This is when I can work with you one-on-one to find the bottlenecks of your SaaS so that you can increase your whatever, your activation, your conversion, and your retention, and see the bottlenecks that you don't see. So just click the description, just click the link under the description of this video for sign up to the link, watch my VSL, and only if you're fit, then this is when we can actually print money together. So see you there.